Welcome to the New Mid. I'm Michelle Newman, former award-winning television executive turned marketing strategist and life coach. Each week, I bring you inspiring insights with the same intention to help you live an abundant second half. I'm so grateful you're here. Let's get started. Heather Frankovich is a high-impact performance coach and psychotherapist with 30-plus years experience in her Los Angeles private practice. She focuses on helping people to reveal, heal, and propel them towards their highest unique personal greatness. She has just started a new company called Sourcing Joy and will be releasing her book on the subject matter of joy in 2020. Hi, Heather. Welcome to the New Mid. I'm so excited to have you as a guest.
Well, thank you. I'm really thrilled to be here, and congratulations on the New Mid. This is incredible. What a great platform.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm having such a good time. And I'm so excited about our topic today about social media, because it's huge, right?
It's a big and broad one. Yeah, there's so much to cover. So where would you like to begin?
Well, okay. Well, first of all, I know there's a lot of things that we could talk about for our kids and cyberbullying and all of that stuff. But I have to let you know, when I was researching this topic today, and as you mentioned, it's such a broad topic and there's so much to talk about. But when I was doing my research, shockingly enough, I found out that one of the most dangerous age groups for social media is people 50 plus, that people in their midlife are really jeopardized by social media. Have you heard that before?
I have heard that, and it lines up perfectly with major life transitions. 40s, 50s, 60s, these are the years when you're just naturally going to look back on your accomplishments or lack of accomplishments. And we know social media cuts both ways. It can be a wonderful tool and it can be a harmful tool. So people getting involved at an older age in social media and getting into the comparing game or measuring themselves and their personal milestones against others can really exacerbate typical depressions that happen around transitions and losses. So certainly it's an issue. Well, and it's certainly one that's not talked about.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's so interesting because, we didn't grow up with social media, obviously, and we had no idea what other people were doing, right? So now you can look back and you can go, oh my gosh, this person in high school is doing like crushing it, and I'm not quite where I want to be. So I never even thought about that. About looking, being able to see what other people are doing,
Right. And this is one of the metaphors I use in my practice all the time. So you have to be wise about social media. What people are putting out there is the frosting. Okay. They're putting out the shiny, happy, braggy moments. And what you have to remember is what's important is the cake, the foundation that everything's built on. So when you're comparing your cake, your inner personal world, your successes or failures to somebody else's frosting, you're never going to win.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that analogy. That I've never thought of it that way. I mean, I say, some coming from the TV business, I'm like, oh, it's always everybody's sizzle reel. They give us the best, shiniest, beautiful pictures and everything. And, we know that it's not all real, but it's hard not to believe it. I can't help it. Well, I'm like, my God, their kid is doing what? At what age?
Well, yeah, think about when you're about to try and take a family photo at the beach on vacation and all the mayhem and the screaming and the yelling and the I don't want us. And if we do this, do we get French fries after? And the husband rolling his eyes and the mom grabbing a stranger and everyone's pissed off, right? And then they take this adorable photo and they post it. Hey, cheers from the Bahamas. We all know that so much happened before that picture. That picture was 4.2 seconds of a smile. And then life goes back on. We just don't have the privilege of seeing that on social media, the before and the after, right?
Oh, yeah. So do you think, how should we handle it? Like, how should we handle seeing those pictures? And do you recommend that we still stay on social media? I mean, I kind of like the connection. It's funny to let you know, Heather. I reached out to you on social media.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other for 5 years now, and I've moved away from Los Angeles. Here I am in wonderful Maryland. And when I started this podcast, I've kept in touch with you from Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to call Heather. I want her on. She's so amazing. And so this is sort of using social media for good, right? But how do we monitor it? Like, well, it might just be overall, how do you handle midlife and dealing with what's going on? But what are your thoughts?
Well, with everything, we've all been taught for years, everything in moderation, and social media is here to stay. It's a necessary way of communicating and networking. Even within the home, parents are texting their kids to come down for dinner. It's just how we're operating now. So you have to really do a little personal inventory on how you want to use social media and have a say and a control around it. It has absolutely been a huge tool in terms of people connecting, getting support around illness or job networking. But it cuts both ways. And I think it's really important to always be checking in with yourself. How is this serving me? I encourage people to take, similar to nutritional fasts or retreats, I encourage people to take periodic weeks off of social media.
Weeks?
I'm not talking about checking your emails and necessary things, but social media. Cleanse yourself from it and see how you feel. People normally feel better and can regroup in their own lives and then connect back into social media a little bit more refreshed and buoyant.
Okay, so are you telling me that it's my responsibility? Are you putting it back on me? And I can't be like, well, that darn Facebook, that darn Instagram. So it's actually up to me to monitor it. Okay, but I do have to say, I was saying it when you were talking, but weeks? We should take weeks. I was like, okay, I'll take like 12 hours or a day, maybe.
Well, but okay. But that speaks you're totally right. And people, fall off my couch when I recommend this, but that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a compulsion.
Yeah.
So for me to say, take 2 weeks off of Facebook, just Facebook, and people freak out and say, what? But
so much happens
there. Yeah.
I have to compare myself to other people. What do you mean? I have to see how somebody lost the weight I can't lose. What are you talking about?
Right. I'm totally addicted to making myself not feel so great. Like, really?
Well, actually, you know what? Now that you're bringing all this up, it's totally making me think about, okay, here, confession time, but I've sat around my kitchen table, and I kid you not, my girls are on their iPads. My husband and I were on our phone. And then I look up and I'm like, oh my God, no one's talking to each other. And we're all totally into whatever we're doing. Like, am I not alone? Should I not be doing that?
Okay, so you are
confession
not alone.
time.
Here's the one thing I like that you're doing. At least you guys are all in a community space together. Screen time is starting to become associated with alone time or isolation. So I'm not a big fan of screens at the table, but I've caught my family doing it too. And I've got something in my hand as well. Again, we're the role models. So it's up to us to at least, what would happen if you said, hey, family, take a look around. What's happening right now? Look at us. We're all so close, but we're all on our iPads. Why don't we, since we're all together, why don't we put them down for a minute and check in on our day?
I love it. I love that.
It's really up to parental modeling.
Yes. Okay. So I love that. And I'm going to try that. I'm not going to try it. I have to take try out of my vocabulary. I'm going to do it. But in a little defense, what if we're all playing Minecraft together? Does that help? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that count if we're all killing each other or whatever on Minecraft?
any way for you guys to stay on the computers and the tablets. You're hilarious. Again, it's a personal family assessment. Like any environment, your family is in charge of determining how much you interact with it. So I love Minecraft. In fact, if my son wants to play Call of Duty, forget it. If he wants to play Minecraft and socialize with his friends for an hour and build an imaginary creative world, I support that. But you know what? Another parent might see that as inappropriate. So it really is up to each family to determine what is and isn't okay.
Okay, I like that. Again, you're putting it back on us, our own responsibility. I like that. I like that a lot.
And I do want to say it's not easy to get your kids off a screen, just like it's not easy for you to imagine putting your Facebook down for 2 weeks. I do want to stress that having no screen nights, or I would even stretch it to the summer, no screen weeks. I would encourage parents out there to really try it. And I'm asking you, you really have to try it, meaning hold hands tight, squeeze the dog, endure the rejection, the complaints, the anger, the frustration, the door slams, and get through that. That speaks to the compulsion and the seriousness of, kind of addictive behavior, but get through that with your kids and watch what happens next. I would love your listeners to send in stories to you about, hey, this is what happened between my kids after we put the tablets down, after we didn't give in and say, oh my God, just pick up the tablet, stop complaining. Because magic happens.
Hey, you know what? I love this idea. So you know what? I have to say, I don't know when, but my community out there, I'm going to put it out there that we'll do a no screen week, and we'll see if we can support each other and take photos. Well, we can't really take photos because we won't be doing it, but we'll talk about it. I'll figure it out. But speaking of social,
here's where it gets tricky for teenagers is a lot of schools, a lot of the private schools especially, are mostly online and on iPad. There aren't a lot of textbooks. So you have to negotiate that a little. I would encourage you guys to start with one night.
Okay.
One weeknight, and watch how the sibs reconnect. Watch the games come off the shelf. Watch the creativity come back. Watch the dog actually get paid attention to. Enjoy time with your partner where you're actually looking at each other's eyes. It really is a great experience.
Hey, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Leva, which is an easy-to-use digital health approach which trains your body to help regain control of your bladder. Visit knowleva.com/podcast to learn more. That's knowleva.com/podcast. And also my sponsor, SOAR, supporting older adults through resources. SOAR steps in to help seniors 65 and above in Frederick County who meet income guidelines to meet their needs. Donate to SOAR today at soarfrederick.org. Okay, so I have to talk to you since we are talking about kids and social media. When is it appropriate? I'm having a hard time knowing when to get my daughter a phone. She's 11, and I really don't want to do that. But even more so than that, when is it appropriate for kids to have their own social media accounts, like Facebook, like Instagram? Although I think those are more grown-up things. Like they're into TikTok. And is Snapchat even a thing anymore? I don't know.
Yep, Snapchat is a thing. Yep. So the best thing about having little kids in this day and age is you can get things set up and set parameters really early. There's great applications out there that parents can have. The couple I think of right now is Circle, Bark, and Qustodio, Qustodio. These are amazing applications that really allow you to be mission control on your kids' access to content, access to their texts and everything. So you can really monitor it. It is a job.
Yes.
And I don't think parents do a good job doing that job on top of all the other jobs they do, but it really is an important thing to consider.
Well, if you think about it though, we didn't grow up with it. So it's like, oh wait, yeah, we need to figure that out too, along with, food and food.
No, that's right. And, I think I was speaking to you earlier, our generation, the new mid, the people we're talking to today, we are like first generation immigrants into the country of technology. And we are very vulnerable. Our kids are more savvy. They're more tech savvy. They move through it easier. They know the language. So they also can get away with a lot more. And we're a little ignorant. So it is on us to do our due diligence around social media and dive in a little deeper, because that quick skim, our kids are going to find themselves potentially in some trouble.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because we our getting away with it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to stay at my friend's house. And then you end up, hanging out with a bunch of more people than just that one friend. So it's kind of their version of it is online. And then ours was just kind of, oh yeah, I'm at a friend's house. And then everybody else shows up too.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to do homework on my computer, and then really I'm going to be in a group chat and meeting people online that I've never seen face to face. Yeah, absolutely.
So part of those, which thank you so much for giving those tips of how to help monitor. Is that going to help with cyberbullying? So that you can see what's going on? I don't know. Is this is that relatable to that?
It's completely relatable. And again, start early with your kids. I encourage parents to have contracts with their kids about social media. And one of the most important contracts is that parents can grab any social media or any tablet or any phone or any device and leisurely go through their phone at any moment.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of keeps kids on their toes. Yes, there are apps that are really brilliant. Children can figure out how to hide things quite quickly. So it's important to be in front of those. But listen, cyberbullying is just a different platform for bullying. All the symptoms are going to be the same: withdrawal, isolation. And don't forget that depression in kids often shows its form in anger outbursts.
Oh, okay.
And that surprises people sometimes because of the images or thoughts we have about what a depressed adult might look like. Mm-hmm. But encourage your kids to talk about what bullying is online. I had a horrific episode with my oldest a couple of years ago. The nastiness started and he came out and showed me the text, and we really worked to neutralize it via text. Ultimately, we ended up having to go to the school. Okay. So it is about open dialogue and open communication. Hey, it's going to happen. Kids can be mean. And this is a more anonymous, less accountable platform. It's easier to be mean on social media, don't you think?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, it absolutely is. Oh, and I want to spread kindness, and you want people to be kind, but I can see how people can just be ugly and it escalate. So I think you're right about being on top of it and talking to your kids about it. Because the other thing is, so when your kids are a little bit older and they are starting to, get out on social media and stuff, I don't know, do you think they really understand what the consequences are of what they're posting? I mean, I'm just thinking about the first congresswoman she had to resign because she had nude photos of herself up on social media and they popped up, and this is the first, with the whole new age of social media, this is like the first politician who's really kind of gotten in trouble for what they've posted. Do you think kids understand that?
No, I don't think they understand that. And we can talk to them till they're blue in the face. So this is where natural consequences really can affirm these realities. I can give a little example from my middle child. Before TikTok, there was Musical.ly, a super sweet little app, if you keep it on private, for kids to act out, music songs and sing in video and post to their friends. Well, my son had a whole bunch of really cute ones when he was 7 years old. He's 13 now, and his buddies found them.
Oh, no.
And took clips of them and started teasing him with it. Now, these are his good buddies, and they didn't mean any harm, but it humiliated my son. He was so devastated. And that was the best way for me to reinforce, this is why you have to be really careful with what you post. It never goes away. And he got it. He got it in his heart, in his upset tummy, in his tears, in his frustration. We could not get that stuff down. We tried every avenue to just close that account. Me being a first immigration technology parent, we couldn't do it. So
really?
It's still out there.
Oh my gosh. So once it's out there, it's out there.
Once it's out there, it's out there. And here's what's happening for teenagers. High school application, the schools are looking at your handles. They're asking for your handles, your Insta handles, your Snapchat. Yep.
They're asking
job applications.
They are? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so old. Wow.
I know, yeah,
I of course want my handles out there because I want my followers to find me. So I get that. But high school, they're actually asking to see your Facebook or your TikTok account for high school?
Yep. They're asking to see your handles. There's situations where
I could see college. I could see college and I could see a job. Actually, I could really kind of see a job, but wow.
Oh,
so you've got to
absolutely.
like
High school
make sure.
applicants, college applicants, elite and club sports coaches and teams will look.
Oh my gosh. Sports
scholarships have been lost because they find pictures of kids with red cups in their hand. We all know what the red cup means.
Yeah.
So it's almost unfair.
Okay, so I'm not going to let my kids be on social media at all. Like we're ending it. That's it. No more.
Let's go back in time.
Yeah, can we? Hey, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Randy Dillon at Keller Williams Realty Center. Heroes deserve a discount when buying a home. Firefighters, teachers, soldiers, hospital workers, and more. Call Brandy at 240-309-6000, a Homes for Heroes partner. I'd also like to thank my sponsor, Manny Media, the area's premier marketing partner. You know what? It's hard, though, because like I was mentioning before, I don't know when to get my daughter a phone. But what's hard is her friends are texting each other. So she's sort of out. She's out of it. And then I get worried, oh, my God, what if they text about her? And I don't think she's thought about that yet. But, you know, that's the thing with social media. Like if your kids aren't on it, are the other kids going to talk about your kid? You know, are you not cool? Not that you need to be cool. But right. You know what I'm saying? Like, can they gang up? Can they gang up on the kid that's not on it?
Yes, they can. But here's the thing. We can't control everything. And we want to try and control everything and protect our kids. Keeping your children off of a phone as long as possible, I strongly recommend, because here's the bottom line. They're not missing anything.
Right.
And eventually they'll need a phone. Here's the funniest thing. Parents say, well, I'm going to get my daughter or son a phone. They need it for safety, or they need it because they're waiting at baseball, or it's just to touch base. Once you hand a child a phone, they're off to the races. So you need to be prepared that once your child has a phone, it's going to be 100% phone use.
So are you thinking 10, 12, 13, 20? Like when should they get? Do you have any recommendation?
Or 45 is
is 45 a good time?
Well, now remember child development, you know, girls are a lot more social and develop a little bit faster. So you know, what I've seen over the years is that girls tend to end up with phones sooner than boys end up with phones in their hands.
Okay.
I don't say that there's a rule about what's right or wrong. You know, the Pediatric Association says, what do they say? I think 10 to 12.
Okay. All right.
Minimum 1 hour, ages 2 to 5. I don't like seeing cell phones in little babies' hands. That makes me really sad.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I don't want to judge. It's so hard being a mom. I get it. I do get it. But so actually, I want to take a little bit of a turn, if you don't mind. I had my girlfriend Molly Lida was on, and we talked about dating. And we talked about online dating, and she had some amazing advice. And if you haven't listened to it, my community, go listen to Molly's episode because it's fantastic. But I would, since I've talked to you so much about social media, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about online dating, especially midlife online dating, because as you said, we're kind of first generation social media people. So do you have thoughts on that? Do you have thoughts on online dating in midlife?
I do a little bit, you know, so in my practice, I'm not getting all the happy stories, obviously, but the reality is online dating is kind of a necessary tool in terms of meeting people. It is a go-to way to connect and have first dates. My concern is that you have such a mass exposure to so many people, which equals the potential for mass rejection.
Oh yeah,
think back in time. How many dates did you go on before social media? Maybe 20 before I met my husband. So the exposure is really high, and that means that there's a lot of potential rejection. That you need to be prepared for. It's not realistic. You wouldn't typically meet that many people without that kind of tool. Well, so you have to go in kind of realizing that there's going to be a lot more no's than yeses, and work on not allowing that to get to your self-esteem or your sense of deserving or confidence, because everybody deserves to find a good partner, but it can be more complicated.
Okay. Well, you know what? This is sort of relevant for, midlife and then also back to the kids. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but
no problem.
What is going on with the whole sexualizing too young and also maybe, people inappropriately showing themselves? Like we talked about the nude photos of the congresswoman from California. Like, holy cow. So what do you think about that? I mean, obviously I think it's wrong, but how do you navigate that? How do you make sure your kids aren't doing it? And, if you're dating, do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure. So a couple of thoughts. For the kids, I think it boils down to the issue of getting a lot of likes.
Oh,
so a lot of self-esteem is tied to likes. If someone posts something and it's not getting a lot of likes, they may push themselves in one way or another to gather those likes. It's seeking a self-esteem from an outside like situation. So I think teens typically are naturally sexually unbounded energy. They have this tool that allows them to be a little less personal, so they feel a little bit more safe or entitled to be more provocative. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, the other thing too is the people who are really big on social media are really sexy. A lot of them, the Kardashians and Kylie Jenner. I mean, you look at their posts and it's like, oh my goodness.
That's right.
So
that's right. And
they might want to try to emulate them, or the Miley Cyruses. I'm kind of nervous, to be perfectly honest, because my kids, they enjoy some of the music of these people, and I don't want them to see who they are. Because I'm kind of worried, right? I don't want them to see the videos or any of their social media, because holy cow. But I see my girlfriends, some of their daughters, I get it, how they're like posing on the beaches or, looking hot and sexy. But you're like, wow, do you understand what you're putting out there, And they get hundreds of likes, like hundreds.
Right.
So,
so
I don't know how to do that.
It's positively reinforced.
Right.
It's positively reinforced by that. So it kind of is a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The more sex. Listen, nothing's changed. Sex always sells. The problem, let's not lie. And,
right.
Even us adults, we get it, right?
Sex sells, okay.
It does. And now we've got this kind of unregulated turf.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Where you can find anything.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I need to boost my followers. Just wait till what I post next. Just kidding.
No,
no, don't worry. No one will want to see anything. So, except for my husband.
You'd be surprised. We're speaking to the new mid.
That's right.
I'm going to jump to the middle age. The singles looking for partners right now.
Right.
A lot of my clients and my friends that are single are having a really hard time because, again, there's highly sexualized behavior coming at them, and they don't know what to do with it. So
right. Oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Hey, Heather, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me right now would be via email at DeeFranco, FRANKO, at sbcglobal.net.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then my office number is 310-854-9462. That's for all my California people.
Great. Well, this has been so amazing, and I cannot believe how quickly time has gone. It has flown by.
It's over. I know. We've got more to talk about.
I know, girl. Is there anything that you want to say just before we close up? Is there anything we left off?
No, I think we could dig a little deeper on everything we talked about, but I think what's most important is how you set up your structure in your family for your screens. And please start early, because good habits, bad habits, you got to get them in place early. My 16-year-old turns his phone automatically. I still have to go physically remove the phone from my 13-year-old when it's time to cut off. So start expectations and habits around social media early and then adjust as they get older, just like we do for everything else when we're raising our kids.
You mentioned a contract. Do you have a contract, a normal contract form that you used with your kids, or that we could give to our audience?
Yeah, I actually have a fantastic contract. And the reason I like contracts is because I'm old, I'm tired, and I'm scattered. And so when I need to reinforce a rule, and then my kid with their wicked smart verbal manipulation tries to tell me that they didn't say that or that wasn't the consequence, I can pull out the contract that they signed, and it really does diminish the arguing back and forth. So I do have a good contract for social media that I can get to you.
Oh, great. Okay. So that is so awesome. So you can have a freebie of a contract that you should have with your kids for social media. Just go to thenewmid.com and we will get that to you. And this has been amazing, Heather. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And keep the conversation going at home with your family and your kids. And your friends.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thanks, Heather. We had such a great show. To continue the conversation, go to the New Mid Facebook group and be sure to subscribe and rate this program wherever you listen. Hey, I'd love to hear what you thought about the show. It'd be really helpful for me if you could subscribe and rate this show and leave a comment wherever you tune in. Also, you can link up with me, and I'd love that if you did, on social media. Just put The New Mid in the search bar or go to my website, thenewmid.com. That's THENEWMID.com. And if you have friends that you think might enjoy living their best second half, please share. I'm so grateful for this time we've had together. Until next time, go live an abundant second half. Are you getting close to ending your career or being an empty nester? Are you holding on to more pounds than you'd like? Is there an empty feeling inside you? Do you worry about your kids or your aging parents? Are you wondering, is this it or what's next? If you answered yes to any of those questions, let me help you start living an abundant second half. No matter where you are in your journey, I will help you design a plan to take action and control of your life. It's time to start living the life you've always dreamed of and stop all the negative talk. There's no time to waste, because if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? Go to my website, thenewmid.com, THENEWMID.com, to book a free call. I can't wait to help you get started living an abundant second half.